Okay. Good morning. I'm going to share my screen. Um, I know I've not got an audience this morning because all the participants have let me know that they're not going to be available this morning. So I'm just going to go through today's challenge and record it for you so you can go through it in your own time. So this is challenge number 2, 8th of July and Saturday morning. And let me just, there's no ramble this morning. We'll just go straight into it. Okay, so the goal for today is to use ChatGPT to quickly learn new information and build new skills. And I've given you a direct link here. If you just press one button, it'll open ChatGPT in the next window. Okay. And where we see the 3 lines, I have added a notepad information here as well. Okay, so, reading that. So first thing, curated knowledge. So yeah, curated really just means taking information from many different sources, which is essentially what ChatGPT has actually managed to do for us. And then if you're struggling to understand a complex concept, we can actually get it to break it down for us. Actually, one thing I've not added to this mind map that just occurred to me that I have used AI many times for is if I can't remember the word, if you go to Google search, you need to know the word or at least another similar word and then ask for similar words. And then a thesaurus is the best place to go and do that. But actually, by using natural language, you can explain the context of the word that you're trying to achieve. ChatGPT and or any other AI platform is really great for that, in my opinion. So, okay, you can receive personalized guidance, etc., to take you through the process. Okay, skills development. It can provide you with tips and practices and so on. So this is really useful if you want to enhance or learn stuff as well. One of the advantages is its ability to give you real-time feedback as well, which is actually really intriguing to try this actually and just say, what do you think of this, or how can I improve this, etc. Because again, it will go off and find that information all over the web for you. Okay, cool. And diverse perspectives, helping you develop critical thinking, analytical skills, etc. Cool. Okay. So that was a really fast run through on everything on the right hand side of this mind map. And now I'm going to go deeper into the various aspects. Okay. So let's see what I've done here. I've just put a warning here, just as we're aware that since the pandemic of 2020, all of the major social media channels have censored, blocked, deplatformed any expert that spoke out against the official narrative. And just by the by, Wikipedia reflects the official narrative, so you can't, take Wikipedia as your gospel either. So we must be very alert. Even Wikipedia has been constantly updated and manipulated to give you the official narrative. That all the facts offered by AI, all through history, all through science, etc. For example, this is a true story. I went around in circles trying to get AI to confirm that chemtrails were now registered on all major government websites. And they refused to use the word chemtrails. No matter what I typed in asking for alternative phrases officially used by the government and Wikipedia, the response kept giving me an opinion that any suggestion of the skies being sprayed with chemicals were purely unfounded conspiracy theories. However, when I typed in geoengineering, aerosol or solar geoengineering, you get a very different response, which is much closer to actually the truth of what's going on. And all the government's websites actually have pages confirming that they are spraying the skies, but you won't find it if you simply ask AI. And what concerns me about that is that there are many people using the word fact. It is a fact because this is what I'm getting back. and then they're creating their own articles based on those facts, with the effect that there are now millions of people creating articles based on the facts that they're getting from AI, ChatGPT, etc. And then because so many people are putting it out there, there's millions of proof that that must be the case. Therefore, it must be fact, and that's how all of history has actually evolved. If you think about it, it's quite fascinating, actually. So yeah, let's have a look about history. We can learn a lot about it, but as I said, just keep in mind that. In fact, I was literally just this morning watching a video about the Great Pyramids, and really, no one actually has the answers. That's the truth of it all. But you can learn what the official narrative is about the French Revolution and so on. For example, actually, one thing that's just happened this week is 4th of July, Independence Day in America. And in actual fact, statistically speaking, if you ask most Americans whom are they independent from, most of them will get it wrong. They don't actually even know who they're independent from. They just have a day of celebration, which is quite ironic. And the other ironic element to that is, if it hadn't been for the British or the Europeans in general, then America wouldn't have been found in the first place, and wouldn't have been founded by the forefathers that they later celebrate their independence from, which is quite ironic, isn't it? Because the only people that were there before were the Native American Indians. Anyway, I'm digressing here, but just deliberate digressing, actually, just to give you some topics to reconsider and challenge the beliefs, or challenge what you're getting back from AI. Okay. There are some things like this, the process of photosynthesis, that I probably wouldn't argue with in any way at all, but nevertheless it's worthy of your own intelligence to be critical of whatever response you're getting. Go, is that really the case, or could there be something else to it that's not been mentioned here? Okay. Computer programming, definitely. Python is a computer programming language, but there are many other methods of programming as well. And mathematics, there's actually not a lot we could argue about the mathematics, which is good to know. So the Pythagoras theorem, which I learned at school many times, but do I use it in day-to-day? No, I don't. But it's, have I forgotten how, why, and so on? Yes. So this is where ChatGPT and so on can help you with these things. Okay. Language, of course. Language doesn't need to be up to date. ChatGPT free version is only up to September 2021, but common Spanish phrases, for example, for daily conversation is historic. It's been around for a long time, which was prior to September 2021. So you can definitely use ChatGPT for things like this, improving your own grammar, your vocabulary, etc., and expressions in many languages, of course. Okay. Knowledge and business strategies and so on. I even looked this up myself. The Lean Six Sigma is something that I wasn't aware of until very, very recently. So it's worthy of going, oh, there's another one for me to learn. Excellent. Okay. Explain the difference between stocks and bonds. Again, only financial advisors are most likely to know this information. So it would help you to learn what are all these different terminologies and so on that are being used. You can acquire information about nutrition and exercise. And again, interestingly enough, nutrition, exercise, mental well-being is probably all subjective. So again, you're going to find just as many experts saying one thing about nutrition and exercise, and just as many experts saying something slightly different. So be wary of what you're getting back. Okay. But things like this, a beginner's guide to mindfulness and meditation and so on, is probably quite a safe one to look at. Okay. Art and design. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Explain the basic principles of colour theory. Yep. And their application. Yep. I'll be happy with that one. Cooking. Do you know, I never hear dogs here normally, but there seem to be a few dogs having a conversation outside today. Okay, so this one is probably quite safe. There's probably a few chefs and cooks would have a slightly different syntax on, or even recipe of ingredients that they would put into it. But this, by the overall, is going to give you a pretty safe recipe, I would imagine. Okay, hobbies. Explain the basic techniques and tips for maintaining a healthy indoor garden. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting basic tips and techniques, then you can definitely get that. You'll also get some advanced ideas that you probably hadn't considered before. Okay. Literature and writing. Improve writing skills. Describe the key elements of a well-structured short story. Yeah, that's a good one to look at. And here we're back into the challenge already. So this is not taking us long to go through today's mind map at all. I really flew through that. Let me just put this down. So we're going to look at today's challenge, and I've got 5 tests for you for today. We're going to choose a topic that you're not familiar with and ask ChatGPT to learn its key concepts and principles. The test, if successful, after a series of prompts and responses, you can accurately summarize the topic and explain its main ideas to someone else. Okay. For example, as we just mentioned, learn the principles of Lean Six Sigma and how it can be applied to improve business processes. So I've put this in a notepad here, so you can literally just copy paste this, put it straight across to ChatGPT, and it'll tell you, explain the principles. Okay. So something there for you to try. Also, test 2, select a simple skill to learn, such as a basic craft technique or a beginner-friendly hobby. Use ChatGPT to guide you through the process. So this time, I have not given you the prompt to type in, and that's deliberate as well, so you can go and type it in yourself. Test 3, again, I haven't given you the actual prompt. I'll let you figure this one out. An easy to understand concept from a subject area and ask ChatGPT. So if you can grasp the main idea behind the concept and then explain it in your own words. So you might want to actually ask for, the 5 main aspects of this concept, or break it down into simple, language for dummies, or for explain to a 3-year-old, or even asking how to remember, to present this so you can explain it in your own words. So you might want to ask for, like the 5 fingers on your hand, for example, that you can remember one for each, or something to that effect. Okay. I've got 4 fingers and 1 thumb, by the way. 5 fingers. Okay. Now, let's have a look at this one. The test is successful if you could apply AI-generated advice to address the problem or make a small improvement. So, choosing a straightforward problem or challenge you're facing. Now, you get to choose whatever that may be. What could be your straightforward problem or challenge? It could be a plumbing problem. It could be a financial problem. It could be technical challenge, like building a website or whatever. You decide. And then see if you can get this to give you the advice and also make a small improvement on it as well. Okay. And then finally for today, engage with ChatGPT in a back and forward conversation. Ask a few questions for clarification. If you can gain a basic understanding of the subject matter and recall some key points from the conversation, then you win. Okay, so this is our kind of basic levels, but we're more advanced than last week, and we're learning skills and how to build on our own skills. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today, whether it's plumbing or building websites or photography or whatever. You get to choose what you want to learn. Okay, and finally for today, I've given you the links to the website, links to our WhatsApp chat, and at the top of the screen, links to the mind map for this particular mind map, which I'll also put in with the recording. Okay. And that's it. Because there's nobody here to chat with, I've actually made it really fast and I've spoken really fast. So hopefully you can follow through. in your own time, and take the 5 tests. Don't just skip them. Go through them all, and it won't take you very long to go through each. Type it in, have a little conversation with ChatGPT, and feel proud of yourself because you're gaining knowledge and skills that the majority of the people haven't done yet. Okay. I remember years ago when I was teaching my eldest son to drive, and it was a Sunday morning, and I was teaching him around the empty car park of an industrial estate, because there's nobody working on a Sunday morning. So there's loads of space in this car park for him to practice his gear changing and his braking and turning, etc. And then I decided he was good enough to take it onto the main road. Of course, we were all insured and properly, with L plates and so on and so forth. So it was all above board, and we just pulled out of the car park and turned left onto the main road, and immediately there was temporary traffic lights, no traffic around whatsoever. And so the temporary traffic lights were just going through a process because obviously there was road maintenance happening through the week, but not on a Sunday. So there was nothing happening at all, but the lights changed to red. And it was the tiniest little hill you can imagine. But it meant that he needed to learn to use his handbrake and ride the clutch and effectively have a little hill start. And his comment, he was 17 years when you're allowed to learn in the UK officially. So 17 years old, and his comment was, "Oh, thanks, Dad. My first day of learning to drive, and I'm doing a hill start." And my response was, "Do you know, there's a funny thing about driving. It's very similar to life. You can't just read a book or watch a DVD. In these days, it was DVDs before YouTube. To learn the skill, you've actually got to get out there and do it. And that's what this is all about. There's no point in just reading your way through these challenges. You've actually got to type it in and get some responses, get a feel for what it will actually do for you and what you can actually use thereafter. So all these various prompts and lessons, etc., is all related to this. Don't just read about it, actually do it, and then you'll learn so much more. Okay, that's today's lesson. Thank you for being here. Good luck. I'll speak to you soon. I'll see you next week. I'm going to stop sharing now and stop recording.